Hello, and welcome to the Million Gold Nuggets podcast, where four dynamic women unite to share transformative insights on mindset, manifestation, spirituality, and the invaluable gems of wisdom that can elevate your life. We are parents, entrepreneurs, and friends from diverse corners of North America, passionate about sharing our lessons we've learned and implemented in our own journeys. Each week, join Jennine, Leslie, Amber, and Nicole as we dive into heartfelt conversations that inspire and uplift, blending personal development strategies, manifestation, and practical wisdom. Whether you're aiming for success, seeking personal growth, or simply looking to fine tune your mindset and energy, we've got the golden nuggets you need to turn your dreams into a reality. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and prepare to soak up all the insights that can spark your transformation. Together, let's forge a path to collective growth and expansion because the journey to fulfillment is all about collecting those precious gold nuggets. Welcome to the show. I'm Nicole, your host for today. Welcome, ladies. Hello, how is everybody?
Hello.
Good.
All right.
So nice to see you. So I'm super excited for us to talk about intentions today. So we're going to talk about what they are exactly and why it's important to be intentional in your everyday life. So what are intentions exactly? So intentions are the guiding principles or focal points that individuals set for themselves to direct their actions, their thoughts, and their energy toward desired outcomes. So they reflect one's values, desires, and aspirations, serving as a compass for decision making and behavior. So, for example, setting an intention might involve wanting to cultivate more patience, practice self love, or create a sense of community. Intentions can be set for various aspects of life, including personal growth, relationships, career, and health. So I love this. I love this so much. So, having an idea of what intentions are, I want to ask you, ladies, why is it important to be intentional in your everyday life?
Well, for me, I think like intentions before anything comes into form, it exists in our intentions. And when we set our intentions, when we're clear about our intentions and um, we set them with faith that it's going to be, I think the intentions can sculpt the unseen into the seen. Um, Different from goals, where goals you strive for, intentions you set to be.
Yeah.
I love that. You said you that's what you're being versus what you
Yeah,
are heading towards. Love that.
yeah.
Love that.
I see it as almost like kind of a signal, if you will, between in last episode we talked about ego, survival mind, between that and like your soul. So um almost like creating the same page, right? Like, hey, this is
Mhm.
what you're gonna be doing or being, behaving, except right, like whatever your intention is. Like you said, more patience, for instance. So it's kind of like the ego and the soul coming together like, hey, this is what we're going to do, right? Like that communication. And then I feel like it's almost like you holding yourself responsible for that. Does that make sense? Right. So it's um the two parts of you, because I know a lot of times when we just kind of we don't have an intention set, then we kind of just go through the day or go through our life, and then ego comes in and it's like, hey, I want to do this instead. But when you really set, like, I'm sure we've all heard the set the intention for the day, right? So I feel like
Hmm.
that is really you aligning the ego and the soul, like, hey, today my intention is I'm gonna, go for a walk or whatever it may be. And then the two of you are going out the door and you're going for a walk, right? Because you guys both are on the same page about that. And it's really and like you said, Jennine, it's a lot different than like, well, my goal is to go for a walk. Well, that could be any day, that can be any, right, whatever. And then ego can always come into play. So I see it as almost like a conversation, or like a unwritten, unseen contract between, you know, the human part of you and the soul part of you.
Yeah, with like I said, with clarity, you got to be clear, and have faith that this is what's going to be. This is how I'm going to be. This is what's going to be.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a conscious choice. So a conscious choice that I'm choosing right this minute for the direction that I want to go. So for my energy, my overall energy. So it's a little different than a goal meaning something that I'm striving to, which takes a long time to do. But my intention is part of that goal to lead me towards the goal of what I'm doing right now. So I'm consciously choosing to do this that aligns with my goals and aligns with my values and how I want my day or whatever it is that I'm doing to turn out.
Yeah.
It's like a promise that you are making.
I like that. Yeah.
And what it is that you're setting your intentions on. So, and you mentioned, I mean, there's so many important reasons why to be intentional, like you guys have brought up. It brings clarity and focus, right? Being intentional helps you clarify what truly matters to you. And it can also help you to stay more on track and eliminate distractions, kind of things, right? And, we brought up alignment with values. You know, intentions can really be a daily action, to align with your personal values and beliefs. And it fosters authenticity and a sense of purpose in your life, leading to greater fulfillment, right? It also helps with mindfulness. Setting intentions encourages mindfulness as it requires individuals to pause and reflect, right? And consider their choices. These are all things that you guys have all brought up, right? And, to pause before even what it is that you're consuming, right? What is my intention? I know that Amber and I have had this discussion before about intentions, and maybe you can speak to that a little bit more, Amber, like, just about how you've been setting more intentions in your day-to-day practices.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I love this topic. So like I said, I grew up with my mom taught me like, okay, what, set your intention for the day. But I didn't really see it further than that, right? So in the morning, oh, my intentions have a good day, or right, whatever it may be. And right now I'm currently reading, it's called The Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Fabulous book, and I'm not even finished. But he talks about, because he actually lived with intention. So it wasn't just for the day, for the moment, for this, period of time. Like he lived his life that way. And it showed. And so throughout the book, he talks about different ways, setting intention with relationships, setting intention with, food, setting intention with yourself, your purpose, XYZ. And it really just kind of broadened my mind. And then it allowed me to have the awareness in each, and obviously, as with anything else, it is a muscle, right, Jennine, like to over time. But I really started everything that I was doing, like you said, Nicole, like our podcast, like what is our intention for this podcast? Or I'd wake up like, okay, my intention for what foods am I going to eat? And it actually was brought to mind by a friend. I did a fast. I did a 72-hour fast, and she was kind of helping me through that because it was my first one. And she said, well, what is your intention for the fast? And I said, well, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I know you're not just doing it for no reason. Like, what's your intention? And I had to actually sit there and think about it. And then I set my intention. For me, it was to broaden my spiritual practice, right? But it really helped, and it came out of it like amazing. And I actually got what I wanted out of it because I originally set that intention. And I think that it's really great to set an intention for everything that we do. And then you end up living with intention. So it's been, I mean, just hugely, hugely beneficial.
Yeah, it helps guide you, right?
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
you set your intention for your fasting, now you have a reason for what you're doing your fasting for, and it's guiding you towards what you want your outcome to look like. Whether your outcome, you know, is getting to the end of the fast, or whether it's even further down the road of whatever, a bigger picture, right?
That's a good point too, because I feel like in those moments, with things that could be difficult, challenging for the human to navigate, right? Like a marathon or whatever. I feel like when you set the intention, if it's to run a 5K or to, do a 72-hour fast, right? It also helps in the moments where you're like, I really want to eat some food, right? But because you've created that pact with your ego and or like you said, Nicole, the promise, I feel like that really helps in those moments. And it was actually a lot easier for me than I would have thought because I had set that intention. So that's a really good point, Leslie. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think too, for me, I believe that the intentions are more about who you're becoming rather than what you're achieving.
Mm.
That's a really good point.
I love that. I love that. Which
I got that awareness and that understanding from that book from Wayne Dyer, The Power of Awareness.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, it just was like, and my intention, because he, like you said, he set intentions for everything. And it's like, this is who he wanted to become. And that's why he set those intentions. It was different from what he wanted to achieve, his goals, things of that nature. So,
Yeah.
Guiding you towards the person you want to be.
yeah.
That makes sense, really, because you're setting an intention for how you want something to turn out,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
And you want that something to show who you are, who you're being, versus what it is you're achieving, or whatever the goal is that you want to embody that intention.
So valuable.
It could also be too, like to bring about awareness on things that we already doing. Like, let's say we already watch the news or we already XYZ, right? Whatever. If we just ask ourselves that question, hey, okay, like, what's your intention watching that movie? What's your intention with watching this or talking to this person or scrolling on your phone, whatever it may be, just ask that yourself because you may not realize that there was even intention. Because I know prior to my spiritual
Mhm.
journey, I was kind of just living my life like with no intention whatsoever, right? And so then when I brought to my awareness, like, okay, hey, why are you doing that? Like, what's your intention, right? Judgment removed, just kind of like becoming aware. And then I'm like, I actually don't even want to be doing this, right? So it's all
Yeah.
like the question and then like, is it empowering, disempowering, etc. But to just ask the question, and in fact, this is a really good prompt for kids. If you have smaller children, well, adult children too, I got a 21-year-old, but instead of like, oh, why are you doing that? It's like, hey, what's your intention? Then it removes the judgment and allows them to kind of just create that awareness behind, why am I doing this? Right? Good. It's not good or bad, but just to bring them with that awareness of like, huh, right? Like my friend did with my fast, like what is the like intention for this? And then it becomes awareness. And then from there you get to decide whether you want to keep doing that or you don't.
I love that, because so often,
Well
like,
said.
people will sit down and watch show after show after show, and what's their intention?
Yeah.
They're just sitting there looking at a show, but there's no intent to it. And they
Right.
might even actually start to realize that that's not something they want to be doing, right?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
really a really valuable piece.
Yeah.
I love that. Bringing that awareness to yourself, just asking yourself that question brings that awareness of like, is this in alignment? Am
Mhm.
I keeping my promise to myself by doing this? Right. So super, super helpful to be able to do. And it's like anything. We've talked about this, about building a muscle, right? It's something that you just have to, try to practice on a more regular basis and take pause when you're doing certain things in your day and asking yourself, what is my intention, and seeing, is this in alignment with what it is that I want to be, who I want to be in order to achieve XYZ. Which brings me to our next question, right? What is the difference between setting intentions and setting goals? And how can both be used effectively in personal development?
Good question. I feel like goals are just more of, so I know there was like this era where like people were really into like vision boards, and not to say this is good or bad, right? I personally don't do them anymore because I feel like what happens is we get excited about all these things we put up on the board, and then it's kind of forgotten, right? There's no embodiment of the things that we're wanting, desiring, right? So I feel like kind of with the goal that happens as well. So we'll set a goal, right? Like New Year's resolutions. I don't do those anymore, right? But for like a goal, like, oh, I want to be able to run a mile, or I want to lift 100 pounds, I don't, whatever it may be. And then I feel like it kind of gets forgotten, right? And then life happens, and then XYZ. But when you set an intention, like we had talked about the promise with ourselves, um, I feel like that really, it's more of connection with the soul of you. And that is what is going to help you keep that promise to yourself. So that's kind of it for me. And again, nothing against vision boards. If you do vision boards and it works, that's amazing. That's what I literally have them in my closet right now from years ago. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Well, for me, intentions focus on the why, and they guide me in my overall energy and the direction that I want to go, where a goal is something very specific that has a measurable outcome to it, right? And so it provides me a clear roadmap of to where I want to go to a specific target, where my intention is more like being in the present with the things that I want to do and feel right now. That leads towards that bigger goal.
Yeah, who do you want to be versus things you want to have, or
I
Yeah.
love as you were speaking, I was envisioning, because you mentioned goals being specific and measurable. I see that as the roadmap, and our intentions are the flashlight that we keep on that roadmap, right? So
Our
that
whys.
times of darkness, when things, kind of get a little shady and whatever,
Yeah.
can be that light bulb that we shine on our goals to keep us in alignment.
Like, why are we doing this?
yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I want to have this goal, this big overall goal? And so I have my intentions that help to get towards that goal.
Yeah, I love that. Your intention helps keep your goals in alignment. When you're planning and you're strategizing for your goals, and then you're asking yourself, okay, why do I want to sell more houses? Why do I want to do this, that, or the other? And you just lean back on your intention, because I want to be this person, because I want to be the person to help families, to change lives. And so it just, I think the intentions can actually help you if you have a clear intention, it can actually help you achieve your goals.
Yeah.
Absolutely versus just making a goal for the sake of making a goal, right?
Yeah, or
Your
doing that
intention.
vision board just for, because I like this house or I like that car. Yeah, but what is your intention behind, putting that picture on that vision board? What's the why behind it?
Yeah. And I think it keeps it a little bit more in the forefront of your mind, right? Like Amber said, well, I mean, how many of us have created a vision board and tucked it away in the closet, never to be seen again, right?
Yeah.
When we set intentions behind the goals, right? The intentions keep us more on track. They keep us more aligned with the person who is achieving those goals.
Yeah, because I mean, I think about it now. Yeah, I've done vision boards too, and mine are tucked away as well, probably tossed away, whatever. But then I think now, I never set an intention behind why I put those things there. And of course, they're, just going to be stuck in a corner somewhere. I never put an intention behind wanting those things. So it didn't make me strive for actually going for those things.
Helps us to connect on a deeper level, doesn't it? Right?
Absolutely.
Versus picking things like making goals and such, because we think it's good. It would be good to
Yeah.
have that goal, right? Versus, I want to achieve this goal because it's gonna, make me feel this way. It's gonna bring in this many things, for my family. It's gonna afford us this opportunity, all of those things. So like we can see very much why intentions are so important, and that they also play a very important role when it comes to achieving our dreams, our goals, and our desires, and how that differs. So
You know,
oh, go ahead,
I was just gonna say again, I'd like to emphasize though, when you are setting intentions, I think that you really do have to be clear on what those intentions are for and why you're setting those intentions, and keep that clarity in mind, because there again, even with intentions, you can set an intention, but if you're not absolutely clear on what it is you want to achieve through having that intention, that can get lost in the shuffle as well.
yeah, that setting that intention is acting like your compass, right? So if you're not being
Yeah.
the compass, well, guess what? Where are you gonna end
Yeah.
up?
Yeah. You're gonna wind up back to square one.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I'm so glad you brought that up. So what are some practical techniques or rituals that we can share with individuals so that they can use, to set and maintain their intentions in everyday life? And perhaps, like, how can these practices be integrated into a busy schedule? Because we know a lot of our viewers are busy mamas and entrepreneurs and all the things.
I would just say to start off, if you're not used to setting your intention, like I was not, to start off with doing it in the morning, right? So some people have a ritual, they wake up and they pray, or they meditate, or they sit quietly for 5 minutes, mindfulness, whatever it may be. I know, like when we talked about gratitude, some of us wake up and we say 3 things, 5 things that we're grateful for before we hit the floor, right? Whatever it may be. So I think and it's very quick, right? I know myself, 3 children, smallest being 5. I got minimal time right before he wakes up and the day starts. But like, to just ask yourself, what is my intention for the day? And that doesn't, and we're not talking about what's on my calendar, the things I have to do. Like, what is my intention? To live today with gratitude, to be loving and kind to my family, to, create moments of patience, whatever it may be, something simple. Literally a few minutes, just setting it for the day. And then throughout, as that becomes a practice and becomes more of a muscle that's used, then you'll find more moments throughout your day. Eat lunch. Hey, what's my intention for this, right? What I'm eating, etc. And I think it'll just kind of expand once you kind of start with that.
That's such great tips and tools there.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. Like, even if you think you don't have time to even do it in the morning, you could do it on your commute. If you have to commute to work, you could do it while you're brushing your teeth. Because we do
I mean, we're
that
supposed to
every
sing happy
day.
birthday twice, right? So that's plenty of time.
Yeah. So like you can find little moments to just set an intention for what's coming next in your day or your overall day, whatever time of the day that it is. You can always find little time to do it. But you're right, it's a muscle like anything else, and it develops over time. Yeah.
And I don't know.
For me, go ahead, Nicole.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't know if you guys are into physical reminders, but even putting a little post-it note on the bathroom window, or like not window, mirror, right? You look at that in the morning, and you can just have like a little reminder to say, what are my intentions today? If you use a daily planner, and if it's something that you look at on a daily basis, you can write it at the top of your to-do list for the day. What are my intentions today? So it's just some little tips and tricks, like, because I'm such a visual person. So I don't know if you guys resonate with that, but I'm very much, when it's out of sight, it's out of mind, for me. So I like to keep things right in my face, and that helps me a lot. So sorry.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Visualize, visualize moving through the day, and your intention for moving through the day. That's something that could help if you just visualize moving through your day, and that will help with forming the intention. And then the other thing is feeling the intention versus just having a thought about, oh, I want this intention to be this. Try to feel what that intention is going to bring to you. Um, and then I think another thing too is speaking in alignment with your intentions instead of saying, I hope I'm going to have a good day, or I hope I can stay focused today. You know, your words say, I intend to stay focused today. So those are just little practices that I think that can help with intentions
Good point.
and setting intentions. Yeah,
Yeah, words are very powerful.
very.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Just that small little shift, you know,
Yeah.
um, trying versus, intending is so powerful. And even more powerful beyond that is being, you know. So
Yeah.
no, that's so beautiful. I think that, those are so many great tips and tricks. Like, I think we've really illustrated how easy and simple these practices can be, because sometimes, you look at the big picture and you think about all the things that you need to do to keep your mindset right, and to stay in the right vibration, and to practice gratitude, and all the other things that you have on your plate, right? Like, these are small little things that have huge impact on your life, and are so easy to implement. And once you start doing it, it just becomes second nature, right? It's just like that muscle that we build. I mean, you're gonna be pumping iron, being really strong in areas, just by doing those little itty bitty things, right? It's that compound effect. Small everyday changes repeated consistently over time leads to stunning results, right?
Yeah. Beautiful.
It's, it's been, um, do you have a blurb for us today on intentions?
Oh, yes. So, intentions are the silent architects of our reality. They are not mere wishes or fleeting thoughts, but the vibrational seeds we plant in the unseen, guiding the course of our lives. Unlike goals, which are rooted in external outcomes, intentions emanate from the state of being, aligning us with the energy of what we wish to experience before it's manifested.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Amazing.
That's more powerful.
Yeah.
That well, thank you so much for sharing.
Mhm.
Does anybody have any last minute thoughts or anything that they want to add on top of that? I think that was a mic drop right there. Yeah. So if nobody else has anything to add on, we want to thank you so much for tuning into the Million Gold Nuggets podcast today. If you got value out of this episode or think someone would benefit from it, please hit the share button. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Until we meet again, remember, the journey to fulfillment is all about collecting those precious nuggets. Thanks, everyone.